Tuesday is China's traditional Lantern Festival, the 15th day on the first lunar month. It marks the end of the Spring Festival celebrations. It is a carnival of lanterns with a history of more than 2,000 years. Lanterns were lit up for good luck, along with hopes for peace. Other traditions include eating rice dumplings named yuanxiao or tangyuan. The dumplings are round in shape to symbolize family reunion. But unlike past years, the Lantern Festival coincides with the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, with festivities the backdrop of the winter sports spectacle. For most people in China, it was an ordinary yet special spring festival. For Chinese students overseas, far from home, the holidays can be a lonely time, especially under the COVID pandemic, but they are working very hard to celebrate it. For most, going back home is not an option yet, so Chinese New Year is more than just a celebration. It's also about finding connections to home, no matter where they are. In Columbus, Ohio, Nathan Wang, junior student from Ohio State University. Good to see you. Hi, in Toronto, Paul Wang, senior student at Toronto University. Good to see you as well.
Nice to see you.
Happy the Lantern Festival to both of you.
Thank you. And you too.
Thank you so much. So what about your Spring Festival? As you may know, Chinese are celebrating Spring Festival from the very first day of Lunar New Year until the 15th, which is the Lantern Festival, like today. So how you been celebrating, Nathan?
Our spring semester has already started, but me and my friends, and especially Chinese international students, we still take this festival very seriously. We made dumplings together. We made New Year's Eve dinner together, and we also set off fireworks and firecrackers together.
Really?
So,
you did?
Yeah. Though it is restricted in many big cities in China, but there are many retailers here. So me and my friends, we bought many fireworks and firecrackers.
What about for you, Paul?
We cooking together, and also we keep some traditions we bring back from China. We watch the CCTV Spring Festival gala show together at home, and also my parents is also in Toronto. They are here to accompany my brother to study here, but this is my 8th year in Canada. For the last 6 years, I always celebrate with my homestay and also with my friend.
Interesting. Nathan, for you though, how long you been there?
I've been here for almost 2 years because of the pandemic. Though I'm junior, but I only stayed in the States for 2 years.
I see. So both of you cannot travel back to China, but you did have your own celebrations, I understand. Nathan, you were even participating in the Spring Festival Gala of your own, in a way. Tell me more about that.
I believe that in North America, and there are international students organizations, Chinese international students organizations, and they held and Spring Festival Gala. And me and my band, we presented our original song on the gala.
Really? So what's the name of your band?
My band's name is The Gazing Blanket. And our song is Planet Client, which is pretty good. And you can hear it on NE.
So you're a bass player?
Yeah, I'm a bass player.
Great. So you're gonna be able to play a little bit piece of bass for us?
Yeah.
Great. So Nathan, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So what are you gonna play for us?
Just a little piece written by myself.
Oh, you wrote it?
Yeah, it's just a simple jam. My simple jam.
Wow, looking forward. Okay, great. Let's start. Pretty cool. Thank you so much, Nathan. Paul, compared to the band at the Spring Festival Gala organized by the Chinese students in Ohio, so tell me more about how you've been celebrating besides the, what's the kind of food that you've been cooking?
Dumplings, of course, dumplings. Chinese always eat dumplings at Spring Festival. And also we mentioned, I think Nathan mentioned Spring Festival Gala, like there's student organization celebrated. I'm the president at Chinese Undergraduate Association at U of T. So I was to do some Spring Festival Gala like in Toronto, but suddenly the Toronto locked down because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, so we have to celebrate by ourselves.
Right. So it's very different year, isn't it? It used to be traveling back to China, be with your family, but this year it's very different. So how is that likely to be a combination of the Spring Festival, the homework, schoolwork, and also a very challenging pandemic situation, Paul?
I still have some extracurricular activities I always do to release stress. I do snowboarding. You know, I'm a student in Canada. There's a lot
Yes.
going on here. So I think even there's pandemic, we can do some outside activities like snowboarding, skiing, right? Not indoor, but outdoor.
And what about the other fellow Chinese students in Toronto? You know, uplifting spirit or actually feeling very challenging?
Yes, that's right. Because you know, Toronto is very strict with COVID-19. We have over 10,000 cases here, but Toronto government, the local government, locked down the city. So for students, we can only go to school and stay at home, and we cannot dine inside the restaurant.
How do you see, you know, China's performance so far of dealing with the pandemic, and how do you see, you know, a very different approach where you are, Paul?
I was in China last year and just came back. I can see actually Chinese, China's policy is very, very well in COVID-19. There's almost 0 cases in most of the provinces and cities.
Nathan, what about for you? Ohio, as far as I understand, is a state that is very much challenged by the pandemic in the U.S. And so how do you and your fellow Chinese students dealing with that situation?
The school requires students who are living on campus in dorms to do the COVID-19 saliva test every week to report their condition to the school. And whenever an individual is infected by the virus, the individual is required to do the isolation by themselves.
You know, now in China, the Beijing Olympics, Winter Olympics are going on, and people are fascinated by winter sports. And also, people are fascinated by that in a closed loop in Beijing and in Zhangjiakou, athletes, coaches, journalists from around the world have managed to get to China. So Nathan and Paul, in Toronto and Ohio, I understand both have cold weathers. So what about people's enthusiasm for Winter Olympics or winter sports? Nathan?
It might be a coincidence. So during the Olympics, Winter Olympics, our school held a ice hockey competition with another school. And I can really saw people's enthusiasm about winter sports. Many people came to see the competition, though me myself, I didn't go to the competition because I want to keep the social distance. But I saw that it was very crowded around the arena. So people are very enthusiastic about winter sports and also sports.
What about for you, Paul?
Of course, I actually wake up in the morning to watch the Winter Olympic opening ceremony because I'm a fan of winter sports, and also I know a lot of my Canadian friends are watching the Winter Olympic because Canadians have long history of skiing and snowboarding and all those winter sports.
Yeah.
So here's people in Canada is very excited about the Olympic Games, and also for me, I also bring my own enthusiasm to this to Beijing 2022. I got my level 1 instructor at Canadian Association of Snowboard Instructor.
Oh,
pretty excited.
Congrats. We are wrapping up today's discussion. Is there anything you want to say to your family, to your friends in China, and also to your friends in Canada, in the US, and beyond?
I'll start first. Yeah. For my friends in Ohio, I hope you to be safe in this pandemic, and we are together. Yeah, and keep social distance, and we will beat the pandemic together.
Okay.
And to my family in China, I have to say I miss them so much. This winter is hard for me because I never spent a winter in the States before, and I miss Beijing hot pot a lot. Yeah, Beijing hot pot.
I hope you'll be able to go to the local grocery store and get some good vegetables and meat and make your own version of the hot pot. But hopefully you will be able to come back to China soon and also have the shall I say, the authentic hot pot in Beijing. Yeah. And what about for you, Paul? Best wishes, things you want to say to your families and loved ones.
Like for my family in China, I want to say as our generation getting more mature, and my grandparents in my mother's side and father's side are getting older. So I really want to come back to China to see them soon. And I will graduate this year, and I will be back in China soon. And for my friend in Canada, I have to say, please watch 2022 Beijing Olympic Games.
I'm sure they are, because the Team Canada is doing very well, by the way, at the Games as well. So I want to thank both of you, Yi Chen, Nathan Wang, and Paul Wang in Canada and in the US. All the best wishes from us to you and to also your friends where you are. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Lantern Festival.
Happy Lantern Festival.